Betty went to the cemetery every day in her town to water the flowers on the grave of her deceased husband, Harry. When she was finished, she always walked backwards when leaving the grave. One day, her friend, who sometimes went with her, Layla, asked, "Beth, why do you always leave the cemetery walking backwards?" Betty answered, "When Harry was alive, he always told me, 'You've got such a great ass. It could bring a dead man back to life.' I'm not taking any chances." A young woman went over to her doctor and said, "Doctor, this is very embarrassing, but I would need your advice." The doctor says, "You can tell me anything, no worries." So, the woman continues, "You see, my husband only wants anal sex." The doctor was slightly confused and asked, "Well, what seems to be the problem with that?" The woman said, "Because I'm not sure if that's a good idea." So the doctor asked, "Well, does it hurt you?" The woman replied, "No, it doesn't hurt me at all." So the doctor asked, well then, do you like it?" The woman said, "Yes, I do actually like it a lot." The doctor thought for a while and said, "Well, I don't see any problem with that. I think you can continue practicing it, but just be careful." "Careful because of what?" asked the woman. "Careful not to get pregnant," the doctor said. The woman was now in shock and asks, "I didn't know you can get pregnant from butt stuff?" The doctor says, "Well, where do you think all the politicians come from?" Three friends, who had been inseparable throughout their lives, met their untimely end together in a tragic accident. As fate would have it, they all found themselves arriving in heaven at the same time. Upon their arrival, St. Peter greeted them warmly, welcoming them to their eternal abode. However, he also informed them of a single, rather peculiar rule that governed this part of heaven. "Welcome, my friends," St. Peter said with a serene smile. "But I must inform you that we only have one rule here in heaven. Do not step on the ducks." As they entered the heavenly realm, the three friends were astonished by the sheer number of ducks. Ducks were everywhere, covering every inch of the place, waddling around seemingly oblivious to the newcomers. Trying to avoid stepping on any of the feathered inhabitants proved to be a real challenge, requiring careful navigation and constant vigilance. Despite their best efforts and mindful steps, the first man, distracted by the overwhelming number of ducks, accidentally stepped on one. Immediately, as if summoned by an unseen force, St. Peter appeared, accompanied by the most hideous woman the man had ever laid eyes on. St. Peter solemnly chained the woman to the man, announcing, "Your punishment for stepping on a duck is to spend eternity chained to this unsightly woman." The following day, despite being extra cautious and meticulously watching his every step, the second man also unintentionally stepped on a duck. Once again, as if on cue, St. Peter showed up, this time with another woman who was equally unattractive, if not more so, than the first. He chained her to the second man, reiterating, "Your punishment for stepping on a duck is to spend eternity chained to this ugly woman." The third man, having witnessed the unfortunate fate of his two friends, became even more careful with his steps, his determination to avoid a similar fate intensifying. He navigated the duck-filled landscape with the utmost precision, determined not to be shackled to an unappealing woman for all eternity. Miraculously, he managed to avoid stepping on any ducks for several months, a testament to his focus and agility. One day, however, as he was strolling through a particularly dense flock of ducks, St. Peter appeared out of the blue. But this time, he was accompanied by the most stunning woman the man had ever seen. She was statuesque, breathtakingly beautiful, and simply oozed sensuality without uttering a single word. Overwhelmed with joy and disbelief at his good fortune, the man exclaimed to the woman, "I can't imagine what good deed I've done to deserve being chained to you for all eternity." The woman, with a wry smile playing on her lips, replied nonchalantly, I'm not sure about you, but I stepped on a duck.